What do Democrats need to do to make that prediction a reality? Make it not just, a prediction, but actually make it come true.
I can guarantee you they're not going to punt and tell voters they have to read several hundred pages of a bill. They're going to do much more effective messaging and connect the real world harms that these voters are going to be experiencing because of these brutal cuts to this bill. And I would say not only 2026 midterms are going to be effective, but I think effectively the 2028 primary for Republicans begins today, because you have people like Tucker Carlson who are very unhappy with Trump for bombing Iran, and now he's adding $4 trillion to the debt. He's sounding a lot like what Republicans say they don't like about Democrats, and you're going to see MAGA fractured over this, even with Republicans, right? How deeply unpopular, you're giving an example, but there's so many other Republicans that spoke out about how horrible this bill was, and yet they forced it through anyway. So I think that and his foreign affairs mishaps are really going to define who leads this party, and I think it's a huge blow to J.D. Vance that he has to own this bill.
Kaivan, I'm going to come back to you with this one too. And House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries obviously made a lot of headlines yesterday, and other Democrats have said people will die because of the Medicaid reforms in this mega bill. Is that an effective argument, or do Democrats risk, trying to scare people or sounding like they're alarmists?
Well, I gotta say, a lot of the facts here that we've been debating, Democrats are citing facts from the Congressional Budget Office, which is nonpartisan. These are realities, right? When you take away healthcare from millions of people, they won't have access to healthcare, and therefore some people will die. Of course, that's true. When you shut down hundreds of hospitals across rural America, people won't have access to the treatments they need, and of course, people will die. When you take away access to life-saving care at Planned Parenthood, which this bill also does to fund Planned Parenthood, women die. We've seen this over and over again, so absolutely it's not an exaggeration. Just like Obamacare saved millions of lives.
So obviously we are looking here at these pictures beside us, just so everyone knows if they're just tuning in. President Trump set to sign that one big, beautiful bill with this picnic and this celebration here on July 4th. Denise, President Trump had, had a falling out with Elon Musk over the course of getting this bill passed. It played out on, social media for everybody to watch and read. Two moderate Republicans, Senator Thom Tillis and Congressman Don Bacon, both announced that they won't seek re-election. What does the White House need to do to keep the party united moving forward?
Well, I just want to go back and quickly say we're not asking anyone to read the whole bill unless you want to, but if you did, I can understand why Kaivan and Democrats don't want you to. Because you've got to go look and you have to trust but verify.